Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another hot episode of a very special podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about all of your favorite TV series from yesteryear and then discuss them over a cup of OJ. I'm your boy, Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here, as always, by my yoga instructor, Kat Halstead, the author. Welcome back, girl. Welcome back.
Hello. It has been far too long.
Yes. I hope you are enjoying our intermittent releases. We just gotta do it when we want to. We're like Charlie Brown specials now. We'll just pop one out here and there.
They just air like occasionally.
Yeah, you might get back-to-back eps, or you might not get one for like 6 months. You never know. Who knows? We've been doing this for too long, so whatever. Deal with it.
I don't want to think about how long we've actually been doing this.
Like 3 presidencies, I think, have elapsed since we started this.
Oh my god.
Who knows how many senatorial runs. What was the
Wow.
election that just happened? It was like the guy from Dr. Oz was like running for something. What was the senator?
Yeah, he was running for senator in Pennsylvania. He lost to Fetterman.
Oh, yeah.
Who had a stroke during the thing. And then, like, he just got out of the hospital for being depressed. Which, I mean, stroke survivors have a high chance of depression afterwards. It was an interesting race. It was an interesting race to watch because, one, Dr. Oz didn't, like, live in the area. He lived over in New Jersey.
It's close enough.
But, like, he lived, like, just across, like, the state. Like, it was really weird. And then, and, like, Fetterman was really, like, sassy and snarky both prior to the stroke. But then, and like, he was in the lead. And then, like, right after early voting happened, they had a televised debate. And it was quite obvious that Fetterman was not as recovered.
Oh, yeah.
As his team wanted you to believe. And so there was some Dr. Oz support ticking up.
Well, maybe Dr. Oz can help Senator Fetterman now, you know. Bring him on the show.
I don't think he has a show anymore.
He doesn't? I feel like it's a...
I don't think
know.
so.
Maybe I think of Dr. Phil. Like, one of those is still on.
Dr. Phil's going off the air this year.
He is? Thank God. Finally.
I think Rachel Ray is leaving the air, too.
She's still on? I thought she was long gone. I thought it was just like Kelly Clarkson.
Okay, so, like, I literally really don't watch that much, like, TV during the day. Like, if I'm home and I'm watching something during the day, I'm, like, whatever I'm binge watching at the moment. Or I need to catch up on from the night before. So, like, right now, I am deep in a Criminal Minds binge. Though today, I took a break from Criminal Minds and I went back to one of my all-time favorite sitcoms, News Radio, and started watching that today.
Okay, you needed a break from trying to catch that one serial killer guy that they've been going after for like 10 years. Did they ever catch him? Did they ever find him?
It's not like that. It's not like they're going after one person. They're going after, like, different serial killers each week.
Oh, I know that, but wasn't there, especially in like the early seasons, there was like a main bad guy that they were like on the hunt for?
There's a few like people who come up and they kind of like last for a few episodes or throughout the season. Like I just finished the season where there was a guy they called the Replicator because he was going through and copying crimes that they had just solved. Oh,
yeah. That's what I was thinking of. I remember that guy.
And that was Mark Hamill played the guy.
Was he, he's on JAG? Is he from JAG?
Luke Skywalker, dude.
Oh, I'm thinking of Mark Harmon. I'm sorry.
I can hear Steven yelling at you for that. Whenever this episode drops.
I feel like Mark Hamill always plays a serial killer now because he was the Joker voice on animated Batman, and then he was also like a weird, goofy Joker wannabe on The Flash. I want to say it was. He was like the prankster or something like that. It was something stupid.
I don't know. You know, I don't get into the DC stuff unless it's Shazam.
Anyway, speaking of Criminal Minds, this is kind of tied into the show that we're doing today in like several ways, in like more ways than one. What classic I guess it's a classic. What classic sitcom are we dipping into today?
That's the thing we could talk about with this show that we're going to talk about. So we are going back to the late 90s. We're going to talk about sitcom. We've mentioned in passing. It's not one either of us were like sitting down and like, oh, we got to watch this. Like, this is the show we have to watch.
I think I've collectively seen it like 4 times. 5 counting today.
Probably about the same. Like, we knew it existed. We understood the premise. But in 1997, 98, 16-year-old Kat and Pat were not like, this was not our must-see TV. But this is also, I do want to point out, like, there was a plethora of sitcoms back in this day and age. So I feel like that's part of it. It's not like today where you only have, like, a handful of sitcoms on TV.
Yeah.
You know?
But this was like a huge show though. This was like wildly popular. Like,
It wasn't that huge, though.
I felt like it was. I don't know. I feel like it was all over the place. I felt like billboards on the bus, maybe TV Guide.
I mean, I think it definitely got the promo. I think compared to other shows of the time, it did not get the following.
Okay, because I'm kind of
like, in all honesty, like, it's not one you see like consistently in reruns still. It's not one that people are like, you know what, I really want to binge watch this. Like, this is what I want to like sit and binge watch.
Yeah, but I'm also looking at this night of television, and I feel like this is like the gem of the night.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Ratings wise, anyway, maybe not like shows that we like wise, but numbers wise.
I mean, to be fair, again, we were 16 when this show started. The episode that we watched aired.
Yeah, I was like learning how to drive, maybe. Getting my permit.
We were spending our
probably.
Nights online talking to each other is what we were doing.
Yes, not about this show, though. Definitely not about this show.
Definitely not. This was like not something any of us watched and we're like, oh my god, I just love that. This was not a show we were looking up the fan sites for.
No, there probably wasn't any, and I would love to see one. I would love to see what it looks like.
Oh my god.
Like a GeoCities page for DHARMA and GREG. Yes, we're talking about DHARMA and GREG.
Yes, that's the show.
The American television sitcom that originally aired on ABC from September 24th, 1997 to 2002. For 5 seasons, 119 episodes, just enough for syndication, but probably didn't last that long.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like when it went to syndication, it was not like one that really grabbed your attention. You know what I mean?
I feel like it probably went in syndication at the same time like King of Queens did, and then King of Queens became like the hot show that year.
Mm-hmm.
The hot rerun, one that people wanted to catch up on. They weren't into free-spirited yoga instructor / dog trainer Dharma Finkelstein and her like U.S. attorney husband Greg Montgomery, who like. All right, so the premise of the show is fucking wild. It's not really that wild, but so Dharma is played by Jenna Elfman. She was all over the place when this show came out. Like, she was on the cover of TV Guide, like People, maybe Us Weekly. I don't know, who knows? Maybe 17 had her on the cover. I don't know. She was she had a cameo in Can't Hardly Wait. She played like the stripper with the angel wings that like had like a heart to heart with Ethan Embry's character.
Yeah.
I feel like she's in other things. Ed TV maybe. Like, she's in a bunch of movies. And then you have Thomas Gibson, who plays Greg, who I really don't know from anything other than Criminal Minds. Like, that's our tie-in.
Here's the thing. There's a issue
Okay.
behind the scenes at Criminal Minds that sort of kind of came up like 12 seasons in, and he got fired.
Oh yeah, he got fired.
And he's like done nothing since. Like, he lives in Texas now and he golfs.
He like lives on a ranch. I'm sure he's got like enough Dharma and Criminal Minds money to last him a lifetime though.
I mean, apparently he was also on Chicago Hope.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I do remember that, but I don't think he's got Chicago Hope money though. Like, it wasn't ER Juggernaut.
Okay, well, to be fair, like Chicago Hope, he was only on for 3 seasons.
Okay.
He left Chicago Hope to do Dharma and Greg. And I feel like, I mean, here's the thing. Out of like the shows you like hear people going, you know what I want to binge watch? Okay, if you have Chicago Hope or ER, you're binge watching ER. No one's diving into Chicago. Like, can you even find Chicago Hope to binge watch? Probably not.
No, because we've looked for it, haven't we? Like, we've definitely brought it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't
Like,
find
I
it.
have it marked on my phone in a Google search as want to watch in hopes that Google will alert me if it's ever available.
I was going to say, did you check Ion TV? But I think they just play Criminal Minds all day.
I mean,
Is it Ion TV that plays Criminal Minds? It's one of those channels, right?
probably. I honestly don't know. I've just been watching it off Paramount Plus, but
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. So you don't have to like wait for a certain episode to come on.
no, I put it on Paramount Plus and then it's just on
It's on for days.
until I have to work and I have to turn it off.
All right, so what happened with Thomas Gibson on Criminal Minds? He got in like an altercation with like a writer or a producer or something, like several.
Something like that, and it wasn't like the first instance, and there had been HR complaints prior. But like he was also kind of the star of the show.
Yeah, he was like he was Hotch.
I mean, yes, he was Hotch, which I will probably refer to him as just like as my go-to. But
Yeah, he looks more like a Hotch than a Greg to me.
But he was like one of the two like big names when the series started, because he had these two other TV roles before, so he was kind of, I guess, like a get for the season.
Oh yeah, like
Him and Mandy Patinkin.
yeah. Shout out to Manny Patinkin, who I don't know, just got bored with Criminal Minds. He's like, you know what, I'm bored with this show.
He got upset with the violent storylines.
Oh, he was on a show called Criminal Minds. What did you expect?
Honestly, I kind of thought the same thing. So, like, when I did my FBI binge, the first season, Celia Ward is on it. And then she leaves, and they bring in someone else, Alana DeGarza from Law & Order. And there's such a tone change between the characters. Like, in the first season, Celia Ward's character was very, like, encouraging of the Maggie and OA. And when I was watching Criminal Minds, because this is the first time I've ever watched Criminal Minds.
What, really? Not even by accident? You never seen one by accident?
I mean, I maybe watched it like for 5 minutes for Shamar Moore.
When you're at like a doctor's office or something?
But Mandy Patinkin's character kind of gave me that same sort of like paternal vibe those first two seasons, like, of Criminal Minds.
Yeah, he was the daddy.
And that's very much how he was with one of the characters. He was very much the father figure. So that when he left and we got a new agent in, it's a very different tone and a different dynamic for the group.
Oh yeah, mixes it up.
Yeah, but I mean, that was when they brought in Agent Rossi, and like he fit better. Like he just gelled with the rest of the cast a bit better, I think.
Yeah, you know what? He didn't mind the extra violent storylines, which I don't even think it even gets that violent though, right?
I mean, he's still on the show now.
Yeah, they're on like season 87 now.
Actually, I think it's season 16 because Paramount Plus just brought it back.
Oh, okay. Well, good for them.
You know how Paramount Plus does it.
And shout out to like Criminal Minds, like International. Don't they have like a sequel series?
They had like 2 spin-offs.
Okay, it was like International, I think, right?
But neither spin-off lasted very long, from what I could tell.
Nah, you only need one. They wanted to be like a Law and Order, CSI type show, and just couldn't do it. CBS doesn't know how to do that kind of stuff.
Not everybody can be like my boy Dick Wolf.
Yeah, your boy.
And have like shows on 2 different networks. He has 9 shows on the air right now, and they're all interconnected. Like, you can connect the FBI franchise on CBS to Chicago, the Chicago series on NBC, which connects to the Law and Order universe.
Which also somehow connects to the X-Files too.
Yes.
Because our boy Munch was helping Mulder one day find some aliens or something. Good for him. Shout out to him. R.I.P.
Richard Belzer.
Richard Belzer. I almost said Jonathan Winters, but I knew that was wrong.
God.
Sorry, I just took a nap before recording. My brain's a little foggy. All right, Dharma and Greg. This, as I said, Dharma is like a yoga instructor, kind of like a new age hippie chick, And she's kind of like the butt of the joke because I feel like we're in an age where like yoga instructors was kind of like a joke of a profession, and now it's like a legit business. But in like 1997, this was like unheard of. It was made fun of. I felt like
It was not the popular exercise it is now.
no, we were more into Taibo maybe at this point.
Oh, maybe we're still sweating to the oldies with Richard Simmons a little bit.
You were like the tail end of that, and then who was the Taibo guy? Billy Banks, Bo Banks, it was something like that.
Billy Banks, I think.
Yeah, that lasted, huh? There's no Taibo.
I used to do Taibo.
Did you? Oh God, I'd pay to see that.
Oh my God. But like, the thing is, because yoga, if you're doing like pure yoga, it comes with more of a metaphysical aspect than, you know, if you're going to like the studio down the street and you got like Candy doing it.
Yeah, I feel like so Dharma, she's like the daughter of like hippie parents, like actual hippies.
Yes. They are like pure hippie parents. Like, they're still hippie-ish.
Yeah, like they're in this episode that we watched today, and they're wearing like tie dye. The mom has like long flowing gray hair, like she didn't chop her hair off. She didn't get like the mom cut when she turned 40. She kept her long graying locks. The dad's just kind of like, I don't know. He has like I get like a Jerry Garcia vibe from him. He doesn't look like Jerry Garcia, but I get like, I don't know, just a Jerry Garcia vibe. I don't know why. I don't know if you got it. Like makes his own ice cream kind of guy.
Her parents are very much like off the grid, lived in a commune type hippies who are still like to this day
Yes.
in that mindset, and that's how they raise Dharma. So that's why Dharma is the way she is.
Yeah, so like in the 90s when Pure Moods music started coming en vogue, Dharma really got into it. She's like, I think I'm gonna start my own like I don't think she has like a yoga studio. I think she does it somewhere at like a gym, like a high school gym,
A class or two down the street or something.
the adult learning annex, and
Yeah, something at the Y or something.
that's what I was thinking of. The Y. Yeah, so she like does that, and then she also supplements her income with like dog training. Like she just like trains dogs, and then like she goes out on a first date. She gets like set up with Greg, who's like a U.S. attorney for like San Francisco somewhere, and
Yeah.
I know I've seen the first episode. I don't remember how it happens, but for whatever reason, they just decide to get married on the first date, and then it's like one of those shows. It's like, we're just getting to know each other, but we're married, and our parents are angry about it, and everyone thinks it's not going to last.
Yes, because we're totally like opposites, like complete opposites.
And I think this is like the same time that like Dennis Rodman and like Carmen Electra got like married all of a sudden. So like I feel like this is like our response to that is let's do a show.
Probably.
Anyway, they made it work for 5 seasons. They stayed together. They even stayed together a little longer because they appear in like a season 9 episode in character of 2.5 Men. They like tour Charlie's house like after he dies.
Yes.
I think they know Charlie too, don't they? Like, don't they know him? I feel like.
No, they didn't know him.
Oh, I thought they did.
The thing is, Jenna Elfman had been on 2.5 Men
Yes.
earlier in the series as this like batshit crazy woman who hooked up with Alan,
Oh, yeah.
not with Charlie.
Wild times. And Jenna Elfman's Dharma is also known for her like. I feel like she was trying to go like against the Rachel cut. Like, I'm going to have a new hot haircut. She has that short, like
Yeah.
almost pixie cut kind of thing, like with the short angles that a lot of people I think tried to copy after this.
That's more of a mom cut to me. It's definitely, it's just
Like today it is, but 1997, this is like cutting edge.
yeah, it was
Literally, there's cutting edges.
just not a good haircut.
Do you know what's weird is I was doing the math. I get kind of like elder Gen X vibes from Greg. Like he seems like an older guy. And then I looked up Jenna Elfman's birth date. So she was like 71. She was born in 71. Not she's 71, but she was born in 71. So she would have been like 26, 27, like in the show. And they make her like she has a line in the first episode that we did where she talks about how like
Yeah.
how old she is. And I was like, oh, I paused the episode. I had to look it up. I was like, she doesn't look like an old lady. She looks. I was gonna say like 30 at the most, and then I was like shocked to see that she probably would have been like 26, 27 in this. And I'm like, what is wrong with her? I'm like, she's in touch with the earth. I feel like she wouldn't age shame herself.
It's a weird show. It was not a show that made me laugh, in all honesty.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I recognized the jokes. I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny, but it wasn't like cutting edge. This was like a very safe sitcom, and like you know what I mean? Like it played it safe. I don't think it tried to knew what it was going for. Like, is it a show about a group of friends? Is it a show about like a couple who has to deal with their bickering parents? Like there's no kids involved, so it's like not a family show.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like pinpoint. I don't think it ever like knew what kind of show it wanted it to be.
Yeah, I don't think it did either.
It's not really copying anything. Like it's not like a Friends clone that was kind of big around this time.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like its own little thing, and it just never really found its niche. Because like I feel like we picked a real quirky episode, like a gimmicky episode. It just didn't seem like a gimmick type show to me too.
I'm just like scrolling through like the promo pictures of this show, and it's very much like Thomas Gibson in a suit or dark t-shirt, and then she's in like all these bright colors and patterns. It's very much it's an opposites attract kind of thing. But in all honesty, I'm gonna be real. I do not think Dharma and Greg would have lasted 6 months.
Like, especially like with her parents, she seems like kind of like a fight the man kind of guy. And Greg's just too conservative, I think, for her. But I mean, they made it work, so who knows? Who knows? I mean, they had to because they were like contracted to television, so they had to make it work. They couldn't like break them up. And what the show be just called like just Dharma?
I mean, I think there's a point in like a later season where they break up for a little while.
Like a few episodes.
Yes, apparently there's a divorce episode.
Honestly, I think like if the show just followed like Dharma, it was just Dharma, it probably would have been a better show. Like her and her friend group.
I mean, like
they didn't need Greg.
See, I don't know. It depends on like which friends she had, because like that Jane girl.
Oh yeah, she was drippy as fuck.
Like just not. I don't know. It's just
what like I got like hippie witch vibe from her, but I just remember her like changing her hair color all the time.
Yeah, like that's literally like when I looked her up, she's known for just changing her hair color all the time.
She wasn't in the show that long either. She like left at some point too. Like she
just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, they just like wrote her off. I was really annoyed by that Greg's friend too.
Yeah, he's like a coworker who is not like that great of a lawyer.
Yeah, he's like the lazy lawyer.
But he's like Greg's bestie.
He comes over and just like sits in the house, and he like just stays at their house, like Dharma and Greg's house when they leave. Like he just like stays there. And then Jane comes over. Like they just use their house. Like what the fuck?
And then like they hook up
later on
and get married. I think this is one show that neither of us really enjoyed.
I mean, I feel like we picked an interesting episode.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go through this night of television before we get into this wild world?
Yeah, what was on this night of television? Like, what night did Dharma and Greg even air?
It was we did a season 1. It was like near the end of the season. We did this is like the penultimate episode of season 1. So this was May 13th, 1998. This was on a Wednesday night, which is kind of like a I don't know. It's kind of like a boring night. Like I'm just kind of looking at this and like there's things that I watched.
I'm just trying to remember, like, what 16-year-old cat would be watching on a Wednesday night. And in all honesty, like, Beverly Hills 90210 is on, right?
Yeah, but, like, we're in later seasons, though. Like,
yeah.
It's not even, like, fun anymore. Like, I'm bored at this point.
Yeah, like, see, and I'm not even sure, like, I don't know, what was on tonight? Like, what were our options? Because I feel like this is not a great night of television, just overall.
All right. Things kick off on ABC at 8 o'clock with a show that we actually like, believe it or not. But I probably wasn't watching it this night. The Drew Carey Show.
Okay.
8:30 is Dharma and Greg, the show that
we're talking about.
The 9 o'clock hour, where you get 2 back-to-back episodes, 2 brand new back-to-back episodes of Ellen. Yes, Ellen, the sitcom. This is like a bad bad year for ABC, like a bad era.
This is post. This is post Ellen coming out,
Yeah, like the show's kind of on the wind
and
down.
those episodes are not good.
Yeah, I feel like late '90s ABC was just very like meh. It was like didn't have much going on. Like Roseanne was over. Home Improvement was like barely on.
Well, like this is the year Roseanne went off the air.
I believe so. No, I think they went off in '97. So like we're like a year out. And then following Ellen is your favorite girl, Diane Sawyer's Primetime Live. What was she talking about tonight? Who knows? Was it the last episode of Seinfeld that was coming up? Was she have a sit down with Michael Jackson? Who knows? Who knows what she was up to?
It was probably something about the Dilly quintuplets or something.
Was that this time the Dilly Quintuplets?
I think so. I'm gonna look that up.
There's three things that Diane Sawyer sits down with. It's either the Dilly Quintuplets.
Oh, they're sextuplets. And they were born in 1993, so there could totally be a follow-up in 1998.
Yeah, they're like 6 now, and she wants to know what they're up to. They're just learning how to spell. One of them's wearing a Bart Simpson shirt, maybe. One of them might be really into South Park. You never know. All right, want to head over to the Tiffany Network, see what they're up to.
Yeah, well, CBS, come on, CBS, you gotta give me something.
Things kick off with a full hour of The Nanny.
Okay.
Which I think in 1998 is kind of on the wind down too, right?
Yeah.
There's like a weird like Nanny Fran Drescher resurgence, and I don't really understand why.
Because it's free on Tubi. I feel like I think it's on HBO Max too.
I believe it is. I've definitely seen it on there.
I know you saw some of these TikToks. The Australian lady who did a picture of Fran Drescher every day in February for Franuary.
Oh yeah, I did see that for Franuary. Shout out to Franuary. Why didn't we think of that? I probably wouldn't have followed through with it because I don't know.
No.
The Nanny. All right. Here's the thing with The Nanny. I hated it when I was a kid. Fucking hated that show. I thought her voice was obnoxious. I tried to revisit it like a few years ago, and I was like, there was some okay episodes, and then I just grew tired of the show. But for some reason, there's like a weird like millennial Gen Z push for the Nanny revival or something, and they're like, people are just discovering this, and I'm like, why? There's so many better things to rediscover than the Nanny.
I feel like it was one of those shows you could drop in on.
Yeah.
When it was on, you didn't have to watch it all the time. And I remember, like, when I was in college, Lifetime would air it all the time with, like, the Golden Girls.
Oh, yeah.
So I would watch it then, because it'd be, like, right on before the Golden Girls or something. I think that's kind of where some of it comes from.
I don't know, but people are just, like, discovering it.
It's nowhere near, like, Golden Girls level, though. But also, Fran is kind of just like this bold character.
Yeah, I think so.
Fran is what they wanted Dharma to be, in a way, except a hippie version. That's
hippie Fran Drescher is the best way to describe Jenna Elfman's character of Dharma.
Yes, that's totally it.
You ready for the 9 o'clock hour on CBS? You're just gonna roll your eyes. I feel like it. Touched by an Angel.
Okay, why does that feel like a Saturday show to me, though?
I think it was. I don't know. Like, maybe they were trying to broaden the horizons, like, get it to a wider audience, maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe. I don't... apparently, hey, it's on Paramount Plus. We can always dive into that.
Touched by an Angel?
Yeah.
See what Roma Downey's up to on a week-to-week basis, being the voice of the hand of God. I'm really more interested in the Gerald McCraney like spinoff, like where he like drives around in like in a convertible with
Promised Land.
Yeah, Promised Land with the kid from what's that movie?
My Girl Too, and
Last Action Hero.
That Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Last Action Hero.
Yeah, I'm more interested in that version.
I'm actually really concerned that I was able to name that off the top of my head like that.
Like in my head, I just like picture it being like supernatural for some reason. I don't know why. All right. Speaking of Chicago Hope, that's on at 10 o'clock. That's still on.
Yeah, it went on until like 2000 or something, apparently. Who knew?
Okay. All right. Yeah, who knew? David E. Kelly, right? He was a David E. Kelly joint.
I think so, yeah.
He got into the hospital the business. I just remember there was like a an episode of Chicago Hope where they said the word shit on television, and it was like a big to do. And I feel like it was like around this time too.
Well, yeah, because like I think they did that, and NYPD Blue showed a butt.
Yeah, that was like taboo. All right, you ready from Fox? You ready to see what our boys at the Foxy are up to?
Yeah.
All right, thanks for kicking off with, you already said it, BH 90210. We're in a later season. This is probably like the season before the last, maybe. No, we probably got like 2 more years after this because it went off the air in 2000.
You have 2 more seasons after this. Like, Daniel Cosgrove hasn't shown up.
Yeah, he probably shows up the following season. Dylan might be back. I don't know. Who fucking cares? 9 o'clock hour, Party of Five. I don't know how I feel about the 1998 season of Party of Five. I feel like it's not good either.
Hold on, I gotta look up what season this is.
I feel like we're in this...
Because you know I have feelings about Party of Five.
I feel like we're in like the Scott Bairstow season. Was that his name?
The who?
What was the name of the Scott Bairstow or Bristow or something? The guy that Julia dated for like maybe even married, and then he like abuses her.
Oh God, probably. We're in season 4, so she was married to Griffin. She divorces Griffin, and then she has the stalker.
Gotta throw this out there. Party of Five just doesn't hold up. Not at all.
Party of Five is one of those shows where you can see the transition into technology, and oh my God, this was the season finale.
This was the season finale?
Yeah, in the 4th season finale, Sarah confesses to Bailey that she still loves him. Bailey decides to let go of Annie so she and her daughter can get back together with her ex-husband. After Annie moves out of her apartment, Sarah and Bailey get back together and they make love. Meanwhile, Julia gets accepted into college at Stanford, making Griffin feel like he is holding her back from her college life. Charlie tells Daphne he will take full responsibility as the father of her baby if he has to. Jamie takes Claudia to his school prom, where they end up dancing in the football playing field by themselves. That was a really weird sentence.
So I feel like...
And then I want to point out, Sarah is going to go and live on her own in New York and be fabulous for a season.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this is the prelude to Time of Your Life, the Jennifer Love Hewitt spinoff that was on the air for like 3 weeks.
Another person who's on Criminal Minds.
JLH?
She only did a season.
She's on Criminal Minds?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe it.
Dude, okay, when I get to those episodes, you are going to be spammed with pictures.
We're getting screen grabs. Can't wait. All right.
Yeah.
You want to head over to End the Night at NBC? Because I'm going to just skip UPN and WB tonight because there's nothing there.
Like, unless there's something, like, really iconic. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Buffy, Dawson's Creek, or Angel are not on tonight. So we don't care.
Oh.
All right. NBC, things kick off at 8 o'clock. We get a full hour of a Saturday Night Live special called Remembering Chris Farley.
Oh, jeez.
Post Chris Farley death, people are into that fat guy in a little suit. His like character that watches movies and asks stupid questions to the guests. The Chippendales dancing with Patrick Swayze. I'm sure we got that.
Yeah.
That's all I can remember, to be honest with you. And then I'm kind of excited for the 9 o'clock hour. We get Third Rock from the Sun. Things kick off with Third Rock from the Sun. So, cute little show.
Yeah, we've done it before.
John Lithgow, Jane Curtin, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, French Stewart, Kirsten Johnson, whatever her name is. Yeah, fun little show about aliens, and they just don't know how to act in the world, and shenanigans ensue, and it's kind of funny, and they're always like, all the episodes have the word dick in the title.
Yeah.
They'll kind of use it very provocatively, too, sometimes. It'll be like, When Dick Hurts or something. 9:30. Do you remember this show? The show started Fred Savage. It was on the air for a season.
Working.
Yep. Danica McKellar appeared in an episode, Working. It's like an office show.
It's a really weird show, and I loved it. I don't think it made any sense to me, but I watched it.
I only watched it because Fred Savage was in it, and
Same.
I just wanted to see what Fred Savage was up to in 1998, 1997 season, and I would watch it, and I got like 3 weeks into it, and I was like, yeah, I'm done with this show.
Yeah, like,
It wasn't what I expected. I thought we were going to get like Kevin Arnold. I thought the dad, Bailey's wrestling coach from Party of Five, would show up. Maybe the Millhouse looking kid that everyone thought was played by Marilyn Manson. Was it Josh Saviano? No, it was just like Fred Savage working in an office. And then he decided to become a director, and we never saw his face again, really.
that's not true.
Maybe in like a random Boy Meets World episode, he pops back up.
Ahem. There was the whole show he did with Rob Lowe.
Oh, yeah, The Grinder, right?
Yeah, yes. But that was before there were allegations about him on the set of Wonder Years that came out. And now his brother Ben is running for Congress.
Yeah, what is going on in the world?
I have no clue, man. I have no clue.
You know what? I want him to run. I want Ben Savage to run against Dr. Oz. I just want to see the reaction to that. Wednesday night, 10 o'clock. Take a guess. Just take a wild guess. What's on tonight?
Dateline.
Oh, Law and Order, girl. It's Wednesday night.
Oh, duh. Sorry.
OG. OG Law and Order, too.
Yes, the OG. Ooh, good lord.
There has, like, a spinoff doesn't even exist yet. Like, no one's even thought of doing it. Marissa Haggerty is, like, not even thought of right now.
No, she's probably on ER right now.
Yeah, probably. All right. On a scale of 1 out of 5, just really annoying Julia Sellingers. How many really annoying Julia Sellingers would you give this night of television? Because I feel like you're going to lowball it.
Like...
We're getting like a 1, I feel like. Like a barely a tropical storm is coming into shore.
This is not a good night. Like, at all.
And our faves, like our longtime faves, they're in like later seasons and they're not as good anymore.
Yeah, so like, this is where David and Valerie break up tonight.
Is it?
Yes, and it's like right before Brendan and Kelly are supposed to get married.
Oh, before Kelly chooses herself. I choose me.
Fucking Kelly, fuck you, bitch.
What a cunt. Yeah,
I think I've made it very clear
I like Jenny Garth, but...
that I am a Brenda stan.
Yes, Brenda all the way. Shout out to Brenda Walsh.
Yeah, so this is definitely like, in all honesty, I cannot figure. I feel like I probably bounced around between stuff until Law and Order was on. If, like, there might have been something on in the background, like I might have put Beverly Hills 90210 on while I was like on generalhospital.com in the chat room talking to people.
All right. I'm going to tell you exactly what I was watching.
You know?
I definitely watched Beverly Hills 90210, but I was probably starting to, like, interest was probably starting to wane. And then after that, I would throw on a tape, a VHS tape, and I would watch Sunset Beach, which is on today.
Okay, that makes sense.
I just happened to find who the guests were on Late Night with Conan O'Brien tonight. You ready for this?
Yeah, give it to me.
All right. We talked about her earlier. Fran Drescher is on Conan tonight, and also Joe Rogan, who's probably like news radio era Joe Rogan. He still had hair.
Yes, this is definitely news radio.
Yeah.
Which, again, I watched earlier today, and it is still amazing.
Also on today, Breaker High on UPN, Sweet Valley High on UPN, Port Charles on ABC, Lisa, the Lisa Gibbons talk show.
Oh my god.
Another World is still on.
Oh, Another World!
The Daily Show was hosted by Jon Stewart then, so what a time. What a time to be alive.
Wait, it was Jon Stewart back then?
Yeah. I still thought it was that other guy, but...
Yeah, are you...
According to my TV secret data, it's Jon Stewart.
Like, I just know, like, the Daily Show doesn't even exist anymore, does it? Oh, apparently it still does.
Yeah, they're just, like, doing trial hosts, like, every couple of weeks it's someone new. Like, Sarah Silverman did it, a few weeks ago. They made a splash on TikTok anyway. All right, before we get into this episode...
No, it's still Craig Kilborn.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Before we get into the episode, I just kind of want to talk about how popular this show was. So, this show earned 8 Golden Globe nominations. It's been nominated for 6 Emmy Awards. Jenna Elfman won the... she's actually been nominated multiple times. So, all right. She was nominated 3 times for Best Actress for a Golden Globe, and she won once. You want to go through her, like, who she's up against and who won that year and stuff?
Yeah, who did she...
You ready for this?
Oh god, this is gonna, like, upset me.
So it's 1997. This is the 55th Golden Globes. This is her first nomination. So she's up against Callista Flockhart for Ally McBeal. She's up against Kirstie Alley for Veronica Closet, uh, Ellen DeGeneres for Ellen, Helen Hunt for Mad About You, and Brooke Shields for Suddenly Susan, which are weird nominations.
Oh my.
Like, Helen Hunt makes sense.
Oh my god, I kind of love them though. Like, can I tell you what I love about those nominations?
Yes.
The only one that is not an actual comedy is Sex and the City.
Okay.
Because, like, if you look at the comedy nominations now, they're not really, like,
Comedies.
Yeah.
All right. So did Jenna Elfman win this year, or did she lose?
She lost.
She lost. Okay. Who did she lose to?
Helen Hunt.
No. Helen Hunt won the previous year. Callista Flockhart won for Ally McBeal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We got a good Fox win this year. All right.
Okay, that makes sense. This is, like,
Flash forward a whole year later.
peak early Ally McBeal, so, like, yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Ally McBeal mania is going on. Do you know that Ally McBeal and Dharma and Greg started and ended the same year?
Wow. Both are very quirky shows, but for different reasons.
Yes. So a year later, 1998, Jenna Elfman is again nominated for Best Actress. She's up against Sarah Jessica Parker for Sex and the City, Laura San Giacomo for Just Shoot Me, Callista Flockhart again for Ally McBeal, and this one threw me for a loop. Christina Applegate for Jessie, that like one season sitcom that she was on.
No, that lasted like 3 seasons, I think.
Did it?
4 seasons. No, wait, that's the wrong one. Sorry.
Yeah, there's like another show called Jessie.
The one that came up right away was the Disney Channel one. No, it was 2 seasons.
Well, she got a nom. She got a nomination for it. All right, did Jenna Elfman win this year, or did she lose?
I'm guessing she lost to Christina Applegate.
No, she won. In 1998, Jenna Elfman won the Golden Globe. She beat all those girls with her hippie stick. All right. So obviously she lost in 1999, but do you want to hear a competition?
Yeah, give me her competition.
And then you got to guess who won.
Okay.
All right, we got Deborah Messing for Will and Grace, Heather Locklear for Spin City, Felicity Huffman for Sports Night, Sarah Jessica Parker for Sex and the City, and Callista again for Ally McBeal.
Okay.
So 1999.
I'm gonna say Callista.
No, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Ugh.
And she actually wins in 2000, 2001, and 2003.
I'm just gonna tell you, Sex and the City is not comedy.
Yeah, it's more like funny drama.
Like, here's the thing. I think they would put it in comedy because they knew they couldn't win in drama. So they were like, oh, we'll put it in comedy. And I think that has ruined some of the comedy awards over the last, 2 decades because of HBO doing that kind of thing.
Okay, well, it just says Best Actress. It doesn't really specify category for me, though. This is the Golden Globe, so I don't know if they do it differently than the...
They do. They have all kinds of breakdowns. Hold on.
Okay. I mean, the category just says Best Actress for me. It doesn't specify comedy or drama.
That's also the year Gwyneth Paltrow won.
Shakespeare in Louvre.
You said 99, right?
98.
The Golden Globes.
What are we talking about? The year that Jenna Elfman won, or the year that...
Okay. It is broken down by drama and comedy and mini-series for television. And plus supporting and lead.
Okay, good to know.
Because the 55th Golden Globes, the one Callista Flockhart won, that's the year Helen Hunt won for Best Picture, and Jack Nicholson won.
As good as it gets.
And apparently Burt Reynolds too for supporting actor.
For what? Boogie Nights maybe? I don't know.
Oh yes, Boogie Night, yeah.
Shout out to Boogie Nights. All right, let's get it on. Let's move on to tonight's very weird episode of Dharma and Greg. So we picked a season 1 episode, very late in the run.
Yes.
It's called Much Ado About Nothing. And it actually is a tie-in to Seinfeld, believe it or not. We picked this episode because it ties in to the must-see and TV NBC sitcom Seinfeld. Basically, this is the last season of Seinfeld. It probably was ended the next day. Let's be real.
Probably.
The premise of this week's episode is newlyweds Dharma and Greg. I guess they're they're like in the middle of making love and they fall asleep. Dharma goes through this weird brief period where she's like, "Oh my God, we're turning into those people that are old and fall asleep at like 8 o'clock at night."
Meanwhile, Greg's like, we're just tired because we're too busy doing all this stuff.
Yeah, Greg's like prosecuted criminals in San Francisco.
Mhm.
Dharma should have energy because she's like doing yoga all the time. Like, doesn't it like bring back chi to your body?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dharma takes this as like the worst absolute terrible sign about their like marriage, that it's gonna fall apart. Fall apart because one time they were both just exhausted
Yeah.
and couldn't have sex one night. Like, the absolute worst thing ever. Like, come on.
And this is the cold open to the episode too. So it's like the episode opens, it's like their bedroom, but it looks like if they're just like in like a pull-out couch.
Like, it's just...
It's so weird.
So they moved into Dharma's apartment when they got married, and it's just like this...
Hippie den.
colorful...
Yeah, there's like
eclectic...
fake
hot
plants
mess.
everywhere. Weird decor. I feel like there's one of those like a wind chime and like crystals in a row.
There's like beaded curtains and
Yeah.
stuff.
And
It's everything 16-year-old Kat wanted in a bedroom, but I was 16. I was not a grown woman married.
I feel like she had one of those little like plug-in water fountains too. That just
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
There was probably like an incense burner nearby. Like, that, she had it all.
yeah. And for some reason, like Greg is a U.S. attorney, like a prosecutor, like a big, well-to-do job. He's got yuppie parents
Yeah.
who live in the city too, and for some reason they don't go to his place. Like they decide just to go to Dharma's place and live there.
Oh, because let's be real. Greg probably had like a really nice apartment, like a luxury apartment for 1997. And it was probably too plain for Dharma.
Yeah, like just white walls.
Or like one of those things where like she wasn't gonna be able to decorate it herself. You know what I mean? Like,
We also have to bring up that there's like a weird like parental clash. So Greg's parents hate Dharma.
yes.
Like they just think she's just this weird new age hippie chick, which she is. But Greg's parents are like very conservative, formal. Like
Yeah.
I get like Laura Bush vibes.
Yeah, they also, like, he was involved with a woman, and they thought he was gonna marry her, and then on the rebound, he gets with Dharma, and everything they had planned for their son is now thrown out the window.
Like, don't you get Greg's parents? Don't you get like Laura Bush vibes from the mom?
Yeah, I could see that. Like, they're very wealthy.
Yeah, they wear suits during
They've
the day,
got money. She doesn't have to work. She does, like, charity stuff.
and they live in San Francisco, which I feel like is a weird place to be a conservative. I've never been there, but like I just feel
I mean, I don't know if they're like super conservative, but they're uptight and wealthy compared to Dharma and her parents.
yeah, it makes sense for them to live in San Francisco because
To be like, her parents are definitely like out there, hippie, liberal, like far left, like just. Except there are points I think I remember from watching like occasionally where like her parents are kind of like getting a little more like, oh, we're older. We actually, maybe Greg's parents aren't so wrong about some things.
yeah, like they have they come together I think a few times.
Yeah, like there's definitely like a point where the parents actually start getting along, and
yeah, they have like team up episodes where they actually like see eye to eye. They're like, oh, this makes sense. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You know what? I do like the Grateful Dead.
It's like, oh yeah, we went for that back then. But it's also like either you stay in this like mindset you're at 21, or you grow up.
We cut to the next morning. It's the day after their unsuccessful lovemaking attempt, and
They're just in this routine where they can pour each other coffee, get each other toast. Like, they've gotten comfortable around each other, and this routine has played out enough times that it's just kind of automatic. And this is Dharma out.
Jane comes by. Like Dharma and Greg are in this just weird conversation. They're in this weird funk. Just literally opens the door. She comes in. She says like lobby at the Lenox Hotel and just picks up like a duck statue and just walks out.
Yeah.
Greg's like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what was that? Why did Jane just come into the apartment and just steal your duck? And why do you have a duck? Like, what is happening here?
Like, why do we... And it's not even why do you, it's why do we? Why do we have a duck?
Yeah, like, I never noticed that before.
And the Dharma has to explain it.
Now that I have, why do we have it? So,
well, so much stuff in that house. How could Greg even know what's there?
And it's like, the duck is literally at the door. It's right next to the door. So you just walk in and the duck is right there. And it's actually a goose. Like, it's not even a duck.
Yeah, it's one of those goose that people will, like, put in silly outfits for different holidays.
So Dharma explains to Greg that the thing behind the goose / duck is that Jane and Dharma have had this like running competition for many years, and whoever has sexual intercourse in like a public place, like the most interesting place, is the champion, and they get to keep the duck as a trophy. Greg's just like, oh, okay. But then like he doesn't think it's weird. Instead, they just decide they want the duck back. So now that's the key to get them out of this weird funk that they're in, is they have to go out in public, fornicate somewhere in San Francisco, and get this duck back. So they go to like, I don't know where they go somewhere, and they get like arrested or something, or at least picked up by the police. They're like in the police station. It's this officer, Mel, and he's like, he takes a picture of them to put on his like weird, like, it's like a Polaroid picture that he takes of Dharma and Greg, and he like thumbtacks it to like a cork board.
It's like this interesting perps wall.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Like, oh, we caught these people doing this here.
So he's reading the riot act to Dharma and Greg, and then Dharma's parents show up because they're there to bail them out, and they recognize the police officer from, I don't know, some weird crime they were involved in like the 60s or 70s or something.
A protest they were at that they had Dharma at when she was a baby.
It turns out that the officer actually like knew Dharma because he like held her when she was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, all right, you guys are free to go. He's like, your crimes are worthless here.
Mm-hmm.
Get on out of here. Like, just get out here. Don't do this again. Or at least don't get caught. So they're like, okay. They head back to their apartment, and now they're like, they invite over Greg's weird lazy lawyer friend. And they're like looking on the internet to find the place in the city that has like the least amount of police presence.
Mm-hmm.
How do you look this up?
Like, they found it on the internet, Patrick. That was the best part. That was like the best part of the whole episode. They're like, yeah, we found it on the internet.
Yeah, but like, where on the internet is it going to say like where the police are the less likely to be, like in San Francisco? Like, why would that be a thing advertised on the internet? Is it like the dark web, like a 1998 dark web that we don't know about?
Oh my god, that's hilarious. That's funnier than this episode.
Is it a GeoCities page? Like, where is he getting this data?
I don't know. It made no sense to me. I was like, it just doesn't.
So, Dharma's like they find a place for, I don't know. It ends up being like the courthouse that Greg works at, like the front steps out front, and turns out like has a very low police presence at night. And Dharma's like, well, how come?
Yes, they decide that's the place.
And she's like, why don't we go tomorrow night? And he's like, yeah. Greg's like, oh, well, we can't go tomorrow night. He's like, the last episode of Seinfeld's on. And Dharma's like, oh, that's perfect. Everyone's going to be home watching Seinfeld. So they're like, okay. So they decide on that. Do you know what's even weirder about that? They said everyone's going to be home watching Seinfeld. There's like a scene in a little bit where it's like a bar, and there's like 100 people there watching Seinfeld. And it's like older people. Like, I don't think people went to the bar to watch the last episode of Seinfeld. This ain't like a football game. Was that a thing, do you think?
The final episode of Seinfeld was huge, though. And there were watch parties and stuff. I just remember, like, I watched it at home, in my room. I have it on VHS still. And I think I flipped to MTV during the commercials for the evening Carson Daly show. That's what I would have been watching on a Wednesday night, is MTV.
What was the evening Carson Daly show? I don't think I know this.
It was like, it wasn't TRL, but he was hosting like an evening.
It was like a talk show?
No. They played music videos. I'm looking it up.
Okay. I don't know. I don't remember this. think you're making this up.
I don't know what it was, but that's what I remember watching.
And like Seinfeld was on for like 2 hours because they did like a retrospect before, and then it was like the last episode of Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
So it was on like all night, and then I think they even like after it,
Yeah.
I think it was like a sit down with the gang or something on like Dateline or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like the gang gets together to talk about what it was like.
It was MTV Live.
Okay, I do remember that. I just didn't realize that Carson Daly hosted it.
Yeah.
They decide that they're going to go to the front steps of this courthouse. I guess Jane and Dharma have like a weird conversation that alludes to that she's going to be getting the duck back. There's a thing that Jane and Dharma have. They call it duck blocking. It's kind of like a cock block, but it's a duck block. I guess they can't say cock block on ABC in 1998.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you even say it on ABC?
Jane decides to send Greg's parents to the courthouse because she says that Greg is going to be given a press conference at like 9 o'clock at night, whenever Seinfeld was on.
Like, why did they believe that? I do not understand at all why his parents thought that was totally like a thing.
Dharma brings like her yoga mat and they like lay it down on the steps of this courthouse. And they're wearing like trench coats and nothing on underneath it, which is great. Which is super, super suspicious looking. Super sus.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like if they had tried to have sex in public, they could have done it with all the theatrics. They could have just hooked up behind one of those big giant columns on the courthouse. If she wore a skirt and no panties, and he just like undid his pants,
Yeah.
it could have been like
Yeah.
done and over with. Like, they made it so much more difficult than it needed to be.
Yeah, it was just too much. It was too extra. Like, yeah, like the place where they went, where they hid behind, like they found like a little ledge they hid behind where Greg's parents were. Like they could have just done it there.
Yeah.
But instead they just want to like lay on the steps. Like, and people were walking by. There was like a cop walking by watching
Yes.
Seinfeld on like one of those little like handheld TVs with the antennas that come out. And do you know what was also weird too? Also in this episode, like for the like whenever they would like switch scenes, they would play the Seinfeld music too. I forgot about that.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that. I just kept thinking about how unfunny this episode.
Yeah, I was like the boom, 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 boom. I was like, can they play that? Can they do that? Is that allowed?
If they change it enough.
So what ends up happening is, for some reason, Greg's parents decide to fornicate on the steps. I don't know why. Like they just got this idea. They stole Dharma and Greg's idea.
And it's hilarious because Dharma and Greg hear the whole thing and then the parents get arrested.
Now Dharma and Greg are like, they're driving home and they decide they're going to do like one more score. Dharma and Greg decide to go to like Ghirardelli Square. This is like where they go to the bar first and everyone's watching Seinfeld on TV and they're like, great, we have 15 minutes to get this like in and out. Like, let's do it. They actually successfully do it. Like they managed to get it done. We don't see it obviously, but like
Yes.
the camera kind of like moves away and we just hear like weird talk, like weird banter is just so awkward.
It really is.
It's so unnecessary. I can't even remember what they say, but like it's not even like moaning noises. It's just like weird, like
It's stuff that they thought you could get away with saying on TV.
that's the spot. Like what are they doing? Why are they doing like they're supposed to be like conspicuous?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they have to like they should just be quiet. Like just be quiet and they can get it over with. Greg's parents end up getting arrested. They're like at the jail with Officer Milligan. They're looking at like the interested perp board, and Greg's mom's like, "Oh, look, it's Dharma and Greg." Like looking at the picture.
Yes.
And then there's like this whole side storyline too. This whole side storyline involving the friend.
Yeah.
Greg's horny friend and Jane. Jane and not Jane. The friend and Greg are like conversing through like walkie-talkies, I guess.
Yes.
Like they're trying to find like the perfect spot. I don't know why. Like I don't know why they need the walkie-talkies.
Because not everybody had a cell phone in 1997 and 1998.
But Dharma did have a car phone with a cord though.
Yeah, I don't know, Patrick. Like,
She had that.
I can't explain it. Like, the whole thing, I think they just wanted an excuse to use walkie-talkies. Let's be real.
And then when Jane and Dharma like are conversing through the walkie-talkie, they're talking like Russian spies to each other. Why the spy games? And she's like, "Oh, that's like part of the rules. Like when you're gonna be a saboteur, you have to talk like a Russian spy." It's fucking weird. Such a weird episode. It goes by really quick though. Like it's a fast episode.
It is, but I think it's just a weird show in general.
100%.
Yeah.
100 fucking percent. So there's this like other side plot. So because Jane's trying to duck block it, and Greg's friend is like the eye in the sky kind. He's like the computer hacker that sits in the office. That's like, I found an exit way kind of thing. Jane comes over and she like flirts with him.
Yeah, she flirts with him. She starts to like shave his legs, but only shaves one leg and then leaves him. I don't know. I feel like Jane's just like that crappy friend Dharma has. Essentially just gets faded out of the circle because Dharma started to mature and Jane didn't, kind of thing.
Yeah, she just stops hanging out with her.
So I don't know.
She seemed like a liability to me. Like I didn't trust this girl.
Like she feels like one of those exhausting friends. Like who always has drama, doesn't realize that they're the drama.
Yeah, like I don't know what her deal is. Like I don't know what she does. She's the reason for the season, kind of thing. That's pretty much the episode.
That's it. Like
nothing really happens. Dharma and Greg get their groove back,
which wasn't really gone. They just like hyper fixated on this whole thing. It was ridiculous.
They've been cured. I don't know. Like there's another episode after this episode, so this wasn't the final episode of the first season. So I don't know. Who knows what happened next week? I don't really care.
No, there was like another one, yeah.
I'd be okay with never revisiting this show again. I'd be okay.
I don't, because I had no desire to continue watching.
Exactly.
I had to get out. I was like, nope. Like, here's the thing. One of the things we know I love to do is to go watch Thanksgiving episodes, Halloween episodes, Christmas episodes. This show doesn't come up on those lists and pull you in with that kind of thing. It just existed. It had a fan base. I don't know who, maybe yoga teachers.
I'd like to know who the show is marketed towards, what the fan base was. I don't know. If anyone out there is listening to this and you're like a Dharma and Greg super fan, tell us what drew you to the show. Was it Jenna Elfman and her like edgy hair? Was it Hotch? Was it the friend? Was it Jane? Was it the parents? Was it just the plainness of the comedy? You just really like Chuck Lorre? Yes, this is a Chuck Lorre joint. We forgot to bring that up, but it is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess that's why Dharma and Greg appear on 2.5 Men, because, you know, the Chuck Lorre connection.
I don't know what the draw is. Like, I would put this, like, closer to other Chuck Lorre, like Mike and Molly and Bob Hart's.
Yeah.
Abelicia, what's her name? I can never pronounce it. Like
it's Abashola or something.
Those like his rom-coms that I'm just kind of like, eh.
It's not groundbreaking. It's like safe comedy. Like it's not really offensive.
It's
not really groundbreaking.
I don't. It's just not good.
Nothing major is happening here. It's very like run of the mill. I could see why like people lost interest because like ratings really declined on this show. Like third season, it just kind of took a nosedive. Like I think it barely got a 5th season.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just felt bad and just brought it in for a 5th season.
They're probably like nothing, and the pilots are looking good because this is right around the time I feel like ABC really did not do so hot at the early 2000s.
Yeah, they kind of struggle bus for a bit until they got like Desperate Housewives. I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you the age-old question. I'm dying to know what we're going to get on this. On a scale of 1 out of 5 silly gooses, how many silly gooses would you give this episode of Dharma and Greg? Much Ado About Nothing.
1.
1. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good, and I'll definitely forget about this. I literally have blacked this show out of my memory because, as I said, I know I've seen episodes, but I don't remember anything about it. Like, I didn't remember the friend. I didn't remember the parents. I just remember Dharma and Greg. Like, I just thought they were the only 2 people on this show. Like, it was just like a 2-person show, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like I've never seen any of these other people again. Like, maybe the parents, like, I've seen again, but...
I think it's one of those shows where, like, you just saw it so promoted.
They pushed for it, and someone was into it because it did okay. It won Golden Globes. At least 1 Golden Globe. It got nominated 8 times.
But yeah, like they're just
For Emmys, too. Someone was into it. Someone thought it was cutting edge.
Yeah, it's just not a good show. Like, I will go and rewatch The Nanny,
Yeah.
do a Dharma and Greg rewatch.
Also, only the first 2 seasons came out on DVD.
Oh yeah, wasn't this the self-published DVD?
Yeah, there was self-release. People like involved with the show actually pushed this up.
Yeah.
That's how like much people weren't into it, I guess. Like no one was clamoring.
Yeah, no, but see, like nobody was like clamoring for it on DVD because Shout Factory wasn't doing it.
You know when Shout Factory doesn't want to do it, that something's going on. Something's amiss.
So it's just not it.
All right. Have we decided what we're doing next week? What we're dipping into? I don't think we have.
We haven't. I just kind of like threw this out here because I was like, Criminal Minds is not appropriate.
You don't want to do?
It's too dark. There's too much.
You don't want to go down that Criminal Minds well.
Too much with it.
Look for try to find the replicator.
I mean, I literally just watched those like the night before.
Good for you. Are you failing The Nanny? Should we go back and relive that and see what that's like? Because we kind of talked about it a few times.
We could go back and rewatch The Nanny. We could find a good one.
Yeah, you know what?
There are good ones.
We kind of like shit on you, The Nanny. We're sorry, but I don't know. Maybe we should do a retribution arc. Let's see. Maybe we are wrong. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe The Nanny is still good. Who knows?
Yes.
We'll find out. Yeah, we'll find a good Nanny episode. Maybe like doesn't she get married to the guy that she works for at one point?
Yeah, Fran and Charles get married. And then they have twins.
Is there a wedding episode?
Yeah, there's a wedding. Didn't I send you the TikTok of the wedding dress? I guess not.
I don't know. You sent me like 80 TikToks, so I don't know. It's probably in there somewhere. or should we do a game show? I feel like we should do like I don't know. Find like a crazy game show to do too. Or we can do that after. Maybe we'll do that after. Maybe we'll get suggestions. We'll do The Nanny, and then now that we have it out there, that people know that we're going to do a game show, and then people tell us what to do for a game show. I want to find something really weird and wacky and wild. Maybe we'll do like that episode of the dating game where the serial killer's on it. Who knows? All right, you got anything left on Dharma and Greg? Jenna Elfman.
Oh my gosh.
Hotch. The Weird Friends.
No, I would like to actually forget about Dharma and Greg forever.
All right, well, we're going to just lock you up. You're going to go in the safe for safekeepings. Maybe we'll revisit you in like 10 years. Who knows? Maybe we'll find a good one. I actually do have a last minute thought on this. I read an interview with Jenna Elfman from like 2018.
Yeah.
She was kind of upset that no one wanted to, like there wasn't talks of doing a revival, reboot, sequel series of this. Cause like this was like the beginning of like things were starting to come back. And she was like, well, like no one's wanted to bring Dharma and Greg back. How come? I don't think it's going to happen with Thomas Gibson's notoriety now of being like a difficult person to work with. So yeah, I think he's going to just stay at his ranch.
Listen, I see Thomas Gibson come back if he's like figured out how to handle his like issues, but not for Dharma and Greg.
I feel like we would get Charlie Sheen coming back to television before Thomas Gibson. Let's be real.
I mean, you know that Charlie Sheen had a show after 2.5 Men, right?
Oh, Anger Management on FX.
Yeah, Selma Blair was apparently on it.
Which I'd never seen. Is it any good? Have you ever seen it?
I think I like saw one episode and I was really confused about like what the premise was and it didn't make sense to me.
It was based on the Adam Sandler movie.
So.
But like loosely, I think.
Which is just weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
yeah, very loosely.
Very loosely. And it was one of those shows, they filmed the entire series at once and then aired it over like 4 years.
Oh.
I think they knew that Charlie Sheen might have been potential to be a liability, so they just like shot every episode and then just held on to them for like 4 years and just like aired it.
It's like, okay, he's like sober enough to do this. Let's do it. Make the money. And we're good for 4 years.
And it's straight up a sitcom. It's not like a single camera show, which is weird for FX because even their like quote unquote comedies are single camera.
Mm-hmm.
They went off script for that, I guess. So
that's true.
Yeah, so wild. I don't know. I'd like to check it out one day. I don't know if it's available anywhere though. I don't think people are into it.
Yeah, I think it's another one of those shows that like just kind of exists. Like it's probably got like its handful of like fans.
Yeah.
Nobody's clamoring for it.
Yeah, I think the only reason Charlie Sheen did it, like, I don't think he really wanted to do it. He just did it as like a fuck you to Chuck Lorre for like booting him off.
100%.
2.5 Men. Yeah, he was like, you know what? I can still do television. All right. That's all I got. if you want to see Jenna Elfman, you can watch her on the final season of Fear the Walking Dead, which apparently she's like a main character on. Really all she's been up to, besides like failed sitcoms over the years.
Those shows are still on?
So the actual Walking Dead is over. Fear the Walking Dead is doing its final season, and then there's going to be like 4 new spin-offs of like various characters from over the years.
Oh my god.
Yes, so that universe is expanding. It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All right, that's all I got. Where can you follow our Wild Ass Adventures, Kat Alstead, the author? Where can you follow us?
You can follow us on Twitter at Very Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and TikTok at A Very Special Podcast. You can find us at averyspecialpodcast.com. You found us somehow, so you should subscribe.
Yes, and shout out to all those new people who discovered us too. People who think we're a hoot. So shout out to you guys. We appreciate you.
Yes, we really, really do.
We stand. And as always, girl, as always.
Bye!